I'll just give a small introduction about you to the people who are present here. Okay, and also I'll just introduce the company to you. So regarding Sagarikka, Sagarikka is like kind of a prodigy writer. So her parents are into wellness training, and they have a very good experience, like 20-25 years experience of wellness training, and they have did a lot of training programs all over the globe. And Sagarika, she was kind of a revolutionary student when she was 14 after finishing her, I think, school, right? 10th standard.
Yes.
Yeah, so after finishing her 10th standard, she wanted to rethink about life, rethink about the education because the normal education was not enough for her. So what her parents did is like they took a break, they made her to take a break, and they want her to explore the world completely. So she gone to places, she met people, and what she did is like when she was 14, she wrote her first book. It's called My Unschooled Year. The book is in Amazon, and it's a very good book about a girl who explores her mind and thinks about finding the real situation down here. Because even in our late 20s, a lot of the people don't know what to do with their life or what education is all about. But when she was 14, she really thought about education to a next extreme. So, what I should actually be doing with my life, actually, what education is. So that is where she got introduced to mentored education. Mentored education doesn't. She didn't prefer the institutionalized education. She went to people and they met and she met them, and she got the personalized experience thought process from them. So that helped her to evolve into something what we see right now. So her first book was written in 14 and 15, written in 15, published in 15. Now the book is 5 years old book, not just a new book. Then she moved on. Then she moved on to create wellness documentaries. Now she's supporting her family too on the same thing. And she gone to Portsmouth University, England, so to pursue a data science course. And also, Sagarika is one of my closest colleagues, and we used to talk about a lot of different topics: politics, economics, science, health, wellness, and a lot of debates used to happen every time we get connect and we talk about it because we think the young generation, as everyone said, has to be focused on the modern economic forums and modern educational forums. So the revolution starts here. Sagarika, the stage is yours now. Please go ahead and share your experience in life.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. So let me just share my screen. So this is my quote, which is I choose not to run in the race but to create my own space, and that is what I also did. And let me now share my story. I hope you can all see my presentation. Is it visible?
Yeah, Sagarika, it's really visible. Good.
Yeah, it's visible for us.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
please proceed.
Now, let me tell you what is my unschooled year because that is the book that I wrote. Just a second, I can't see all of this. Let me minimize. Okay. So now, what is unschooled year? Now, when I was in grade 10, I saw the school that is, the school is inside a box. And I was thinking that the school is also labeling the kids. For example, if they get first rank, then they become a doctor, they take a biology group for the 11th. If they get a second rank, they become an engineer. If they get a third rank, they become a chartered accountant. And I was totally against it because the kid should not be labeled as such. The kid should do what it likes to do. And I also wanted to go and take a path that is road less travel. I didn't want to do what everybody else did, and to choose a path in 11th standard. For example, if I had to choose psychology or a commerce or biology, I first had to know what it actually means, and for which during after my 10th exams, me and my parents, we sat around our dinner table and we were just discussing that why should I do the same, just like what every kid does? Why can't I do something different? And that is where we got the idea of my unschooled year. And actually, the book was an accident which I happened to write after the 1 year break. So during the after 10th, I took a year break. And what my parents told me was they were my mentors. They were my mentors the whole time, 365 days, they were my mentors, and they told me to just freak out. They told me to enjoy, just go to the stock market and see what happens, just look at the numbers dancing. It's okay if you don't understand, but just go and feel it. And then they told me, okay, there's this mountaineering club who wants to go to Leh. Actually, you can also join them, so just go ahead and have fun. There's this model United Nation that's happening, just go have fun. I wouldn't have that. I would have never thought that a girl child being 14 years old, the parents leaving that kid alone to go on a flight to Mumbai or to Kashmir and be alone and enjoy life. I mean, I traveled alone, but I was not there alone because I was into competition. I was into traveling with a group of people. So, and this is why Unschooled Year happened also, because I just wanted to have a good experience. I wanted to know what will happen in life later on. And so before 10, this was me, a happy child, always enjoying and never studying. It was 2 months before the board exam that I got really serious about exams, and it was not because of my parents, but it was because of my relatives and teachers who were always nudging me to do the exam well, because only if I do it well, then I get a good good subject in 11th, and only if I pass that, then I get a good college, and only if I do that, I get to work in a good company. So this is what my relatives and teachers have been telling me about. So before 10th, two months before 10th, I got serious and I started studying. Then I got 8.2. That was my grade in 10th. But then later, as I told you, we discussed about my unschooled year. It was not called my unschooled year. I have called it my unschooled year only when I wrote the book. That is when I was in 11th standard. But this is what happened during my unschooled year. It was all about discipline and exposure. So it was all about discipline and experience. My father has always believed a person who is disciplined will definitely be successful. A person who follows a timetable will definitely be successful. And this is the timetable that we had during that 1 year break. After discussing about taking a year break, we just jotted down a timetable which said that I have to work on my fitness, I have to work on my intellectual strength, that is, I have to increase my knowledge, I have to know finances, and also I have to know about door-to-door selling. And now let me now tell you, I have an acronym which is called CHIPS. So this is my chart, but let me tell you, but I have this acronym called CHIPS, and C stands for conference. In conference, it was mandatory to attend a conference every month during that my unschooled year break, because my parents always believed that networking decides our net worth. So if I had to do networking, I then definitely had to go to a conference. What do you think a 14-year kid would do in a conference? Definitely not listen to some speeches on VUCA and about a noodles company CEO coming and talking about his company, or a 14-year kid would definitely not understand about it. But a 14-year-old kid would definitely be able to network with people there in the conferences would definitely look down at the 14-year-old kid, and they'll say, what the heck is this 14-year-old kid doing here in this conference? And that is how I network. It was such an advantage for me, being a girl child, being a Tamilian, a 14-year-old girl. It was a great advantage for me to do all this stuff. And that is how I also started networking. I started networking with entrepreneurs, authors, journalists, with actors, and also with scientists. And then H, it stands for health. Um, health was really, really important for me, for our family. And every day I used to hit the gym. I was also into shuttle, and as a kinesthetic child, I was also into dancing. I really love dance. A kinesthetic child is no, a, a child which needs hands-on experience, and who is always excited to learn something new, who is always excited. So that is a kinesthetic child according to me, and I am a kinesthetic child, and I was also into dance, and this was really really important for us. And then I stands for industry. So what did I do when I was a 14-year-old kid? I was into industries like I visited automobile plants, I visited steel mills, I went to ISRO and saw the rocket propellers and how they launch the rocket, how they make all these small parts. So that is what I saw in ISRO. And not only that, monthly once I used to go to, I used to be an intern in a company. So the companies were of different sectors. I went to the Ramya's Hotel. I went to Ashtanga Ayurveda. I was into Tata Hitachi. I also went to Time Kids, and then so these were all of different sectors. I have also told about this in my book. Maybe you can read it later. So this is my book. It's called I think is it Blair? So it's called My Unschooled Year. So this is my book, and I have shared all my experiences over here. That what I have learned in Ramya's Hotel, what I have learned in Tata Hitachi, what I have learned in Time Kids. Because being a 14-year-old girl and going as an intern, because being an intern, of course, tells me what the actual industry looks like, how it actually works. So that is what I saw in those industries, and I've written it down in my book through. Through no, from my perspective, you can see what all I wrote and how all I enjoyed being an intern. So this is what I learned in Ramya's Hotel. The cleanliness, the 5S is a cleanliness thing. I'm not getting the word, but it's about cleanliness. And then I learned about inventory control. I learned about ABC analysis, cost accounting. So these are the different things I learned. I actually didn't know what all of this meant. I used to go to my dad, or I had my mentors. I had my dad, and the people who I have networked with are also my mentors. So I used to go to them and I used to ask them, Uncle, what is this? So I learned about how to name a product, how to fix a price for the product. And I used to ask them, what is it called? Is there any particular name for it? And they used to say, yeah, it's called, it's called ABC analysis, it's called cost accounting, it's called costing. So this is lean management. And they used to explain me. When I tell them what I learned, they tell me that there is a particular word for it. And that is how I came to know about all inventory control and queuing theory. Now, so we saw confidence, health, industry, and now P stands for projects. So projects is when I have to execute something which I have learned throughout the experience, throughout my internships. So I have to execute it somewhere. So that's when I started journaling. That is when I started writing my blogs. I used to write it every day because it is really important that I don't miss out on anything, that I don't miss out on any golden words that someone has told me. So that is the reason I started journaling and blogging. I also visited Kailash and Leh, part of my traveling journeys, and I made a documentary on it. Also, that was when the Kadalur floods took place, the Chennai Kadalur floods, and when I was 14, 15, and I also went to help people, and I gave them the necessary things. I haven't done this before. Everything that I did during that 1 year break was something new to me, which I haven't seen in my school, and it was really, really new to me. And a lot of people, they ask me, Okay, you had so many experiences. You did a lot of stuff, but didn't you study? Of course, I did. Every day morning, I used to sit with my parents half an hour, read the newspaper, learn words, and then in the evening, I used to sit with my dad, and for about 3 hours, we used to learn maths, science, maths, physics, and chemistry. And the most of it I learned from massive open online course, so which is available on YouTube, and there is Udemy, Coursera. That is how I learned. Also, I was preparing for my SAT exam, and that was also I was also doing that side by side. And being a 14-year-old kid, these were the books that I read during that 1 year break. Before that, I wouldn't even sit to read a book. But during that 1 year break, my parents, they were like, no, you should read a book. Reading maketh a man. So I also started reading, and the books were mainly of the genre were motivational, self help, autobiographies. So this is what I read during that 1 year break. Now, what is the point of doing all this? What did I achieve out of this? Let me tell you what I achieved. Number one is I wrote a book out of it. It was an total accident because during that 1 year break, I also attended the Hindu Lit Fest, which comes under conference. So in the conference period, I went to YICII, NASHCOM, I went to MMA, and I also went to the Hindu Literary Festival that happens in Chennai during Pongal, where I met a lot of authors, in which one author inspired me, and he told me that, he told the audience, I was one of the kids sitting at the end of the room, a backbencher. So I was sitting there. I was just wanted to listen to what he says, and what he told to the audience was he said that I write 5,000 words a day, and that is how I compile a book. That is what he said. That is the only sentence that I actually remember. And after he told that, we got an epiphanic moment where we thought, okay, I'm also writing blogs. I'm also writing my journal. I'm also writing about 100, 200 words a day. Why can't I compile it and make it a book? Because definitely this My Unschooled Year will be helpful for the students and the parents to go through. No, it is really important for the kids to go through these experiences out of school, because school definitely doesn't give these experiences. School, it's inside the box. Definitely school is important. I didn't say that school is not important, but school is important to network, and that's why we learn science and gain a lot of knowledge. But other than that, don't you think that communication, networking, getting into industries, getting hands-on experience important for a kid? Because kids learn faster than an elder person. So that is why I wrote this book. So this book was an accident which happened during that 1 year break. Also, out of these experiences, I started earning through selling books, through investing in stock market, through giving speeches. So for each speech, they give me about 5,000, 10,000 rupees, and that is how I started earning. I was also into vermicomposting and photography, which were my hobbies, but I also earned a bit of money from that. Other than that, when I stepped into 11th, I participated in a lot of competitions. Those competitions were mostly like, this one with Surya, it's Miss Maria, and the other one is a science contest. I really don't think without these experiences, I would have won these contests. And this one was, when I was in 12th, I won the overall sports award, and I don't think without my unschooled experience I would have got this award, for which I really think mentorship was a key aspect of my unschooled year. My father was my mentor. It's a mentor, according to me, is a person who doesn't tell what to do. No, my father didn't tell me what to do, but he showed me how to do it. And a mentor just tells us to follow what to do, and we just follow it. they show you how to run a business, how to go and sit in the stock market and invest, how to do an internship. So what are the questions that you should ask in an internship, and what are the things that you should see when you go to Ramya's hotel or Ashtanga Ayurveda center. So that is what my mentor did to me. And also, other than earning and winning contests, winning this sports award and the science competitions, I also gained emotional maturity. So this one is where I went door to door selling. Okay, I'm not going to tell the company's name, but still, I did door to door selling. Being a 14-year-old girl, people definitely rejected me. They were not happy with me nor my parents, and they started screwing us, saying that no, how can you sell, and you just completed your 10th standard, you have to go and study, and they started asking about my parents, where have your parents gone mad and they allowing a 14-year-old kid to go and sell. And that is when I gained emotional maturity. The first two, three houses, I went home crying. My parents were laughing. But then later, I started getting that. I started getting used to it. Just like they say in Tamil, no vektam mana sudu sonna. It was just like that. I lost everything. And also, something I learned in door-to-door selling is communication. And the other thing I learned in door-to-door selling is a lot of people say no. Uh, 1 out of 5 will say yes. So if I had to get 100 orders, then I have to go to 500 houses. So that is what I learned. And we have to get used to the customers saying no. So that is one thing I learned from door-to-door selling. And then the second incident that happened to us was a car accident. It was when we went from Bangalore to Chennai. We happened to meet with a car accident, and my parents were unconscious. They were semi-conscious, but they could not move, and I thought my dad was dead because he was in a frozen state, and I didn't know what to do. And then people came around, they helped us. I took care of the luggages. I called the car station. I filled the forms. I took my parents back to Bangalore safely. So this is what happened during the car accident. So those 2 hours were I really didn't know what I did during those 2 hours. I just took leadership in my hands. I knew that my parents, they were not able to do anything, and I have to help them to get back home safely with the luggages. I just took the leadership in my hand. That's all. But then when I went home after 2 hours, I realized that I did something great, which I don't think a 14-year-old kid would do, or me. Without those experiences, I really don't think I would have done this, and I would have got that emotional maturity. Also, the third point which I got from the my unschool day experience is writing blogs and making YouTube videos, out of which now I have made a documentary film. The Kailash and Leh documentary film helped me in making my real documentary film. It is on junk food, and it is a serious documentary film. Maybe you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Eat Fast, Die Young. It's a Tamil film with English subtitles. The reason I took this film was because I saw my friend suffering from PCOD, which is polycystic ovary syndrome or disease, and obesity at the age of 15 and 16. So I wanted to tell the world, I wanted to shout out to the world saying that this generation will die in front of the parents, and we have to be very, very careful in what you give them. So that is what I try to express in the film. These experiences, this Kailash and Leh documentary and my website experiences helped me in making my documentary a huge success. Now it's hit 16,000 views on YouTube. You can watch it later. Also, it's number 4. Also, and not only that, I have become a speaker after my unschooled year, through which I also gained popularity. And these are all the byproducts of my unschooled year. I really did not expect that this unschooled year would be a huge success in my life. It was just an accident, as I told you, and this accident turned out to be a beautiful one. And later, I got to meet our Vice President Venkaya Naidu. So he called me. He came to know about me through someone, and then he wanted to meet me. So I got a mail from him, and that was a great moment for me. As I told you, I choose not to run in the race, but to create my own space. You can contact me later. We can get connected on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. I'm available on all social media platforms. So thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sagarikka. Thanks a lot, Sagarikka. Sagarikka, right? Thank you.
Yes.
So it's really happy to have you down here. Okay. So before going for this Q&A session, I'll just summarize the things you said. Okay. So I mean, I used to follow this principle. Have you heard of the Stoic principles? Stoic lifestyle and Stoic principles, Marcus Aurelius.
Yes,
So
yes.
Seneca. So these are the guys I actually follow. So these are the guys who inspired me completely. So I mean, everything is said, right? So it is just to summarize the Stoic philosophy, what it is like. During madness, take a break, rethink life, and go back, so that you can escape the madness. So that is the kind of philosophy these people, I mean, said over generations before, but still it works out, I guess. And regarding you, it's really a great thing, actually. We have already spoke. We know lot about each other. But still think this is one of a new experience for me too, listening to you to speak a long time, because whenever we talk, right, so I used to communicate to you a lot, but this time it's really good. And I'm really happy that you came here, and also I'm really sure that like everyone down here was inspired by you. And also there are a lot of parents down here, and there are a lot of people who are going to be parents down here. So end of the day, they'll be having this philosophy in their mind. So when they raise their kids, something like that.
Yes.
So I'll just move on to the Q&A session. So thank you, Sagarikka, again. And anyone, so if you want to share your words and thoughts about this thing, please go ahead, and the stage is free.
Yeah, this is Dr. Surya here. Hello, Sagarikka.
Yes, sir.
It is indeed a wonderful presentation. The basic thing what I understand is that, unfortunately, I have a different story for my childhood. Fortunately, you have a very good mentorship. So you got a wonderful story, and you have narrated it very well. And this is how we can get again confidence that many of the grown-up adults, nowadays, you represent the digital natives. We are all digital immigrants. I am from a digital immigrant. We call the current day kids as digital natives. So you set an example for a digital native, and you have wisely used the communication medium to express the way you have cherished everything, and how you followed the sorrows, and how you munched your the whatever experiences you got, and you have slowly digested it, and that is why it is purely organic. And uh, uh, the way now you loved, you have touched all the areas. Now, whether it's going to be e-commerce, whether it be commerce, whether it is philosophy, whether it is writing a book. So the entire story has a lot of things to say. No, like only people of 70 years old, they'll start saying some stories whenever you approach them. But I could see that maturity you got. So I don't think so. No, I'm not commenting that you are a bit old. You're still young, and everybody is are witnessing. But that's a fun, no? Like hearing a story from a kid. Now, I used to hear a lot of stories from my daughter when she is very in a kid. When every girl child or a child, when they go to their school, when they come back, we used to hear a lot of stories from them, and that is how this event is also for me. You are my child, and I heard a lot of stories from you, but that is very serious story. So in a way, I cherish it. I think your journey is wonderful. You have a long way to go. Probably, I don't know where you will stand. Maybe, I wish that you become a state CM, chief minister. Please don't forget it.
Thank you.
All,
Hi Sagarikka. Let me just start by saying that I'm 16-year-old too, and looking at your PPT, it has really inspired me to do something very similar to this. But my question was, as a 14-year-old, you talked about working with a lot of companies, doing internships, right?
Yes.
But I'm a 16-year-old, right? So if I go to a company and ask them to hire me as an intern, they would obviously say no. So how did you, give them the confidence or the trust to hire you as a 14-year-old?
That's a great question, actually. Now I'm going to let us figure it out. So the thing is, the people, the company CEOs with whom the companies that have gone and interned with, the CEOs are my parents' friends. So it was easy for me to communicate with them and go as an intern. But I think it's actually not really necessary to go to a five-star hotel or a real industry. Now we've got everything on YouTube. And the other thing is, the thing that I'm about to tell is, it's not necessary to go to a big hotel. Instead, your parents would know a hotel that is nearby you, or a factory that's near your hometown. Your parents would definitely know. They must have been mingling with people, and they can definitely help you out. Or definitely, I mean, you have mentors over here. You've got Surya sir over here. You've got Anand sir over here. So I hope they will also definitely help you out in a teenage girl growing. So yes, there is help all around you. It's just that you need to have that, that in Tamil, it's like, that very, if they see it in your eyes, I think they will definitely allow you to be an intern, or even
Yeah,
to
exactly.
work with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sagika, it was really a wonderful presentations. Believe me, it's a lot of thing new has come out. This lot of question was around my mind. The first is, I think so. The age 14, it's a milestone for you because that's the number which since you narrated. I mean, that's the age actually where you gain or you lose maybe. My another question is that during your presentation you have shown the books, two books there. One of them is Elrise and Trout, mind positioning.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay, so my question is, where I mean, what do you feel in present scenario where we're living in this era now, where Elrise and Trout strategy on mind positioning stand? We have a lot of marketers here. We have a lot of strategy people here. We have sales guys here. Implementation team is here. So where you feel that this Elrise and Trout strategy stands, and how we can utilize this? I'm sure that with your experience and with your and the way you have gone through during your journey. Again, I'm pointing out 14 years. Okay, so I'm sure that you will light on this. I'm sure that everybody will enjoy that kind of things. That where the strategies stand, especially in digital era, a lot of people are here, and I'm sure that we all will be having some kind of new gain from your verdict.
Thank you for that question, sir. I actually believe that when I read the book, the only examples that I had in my mind was, well, what comes to your mind when you think of soap? Which company comes to your mind? Lux comes to my mind. So that is called positioning. So that is how it was when I read the book in the beginning. But then I learned, right now I can see that the world is messed up. there are a lot of information and company, and there are like thousands of company and lakhs of company in every sector. It is definitely difficult to position oneself unless they have come from 1980s, 1990s, or 2000 when there was no one. So we remember them easily. But now what I feel is it is that more important than positioning. There's something called giving, and I feel that when we give more, then we get more, and automatically people will remember us, and we get positioned in people's mind. So that is one thinking that I have in mind right now, because it is really difficult to position oneself. For me, it is actually simple. I sit in everybody's mind easily, because being a young girl from India, being a 14-year-old girl, no one has taken this path. So it was very easy for me to position myself. But thinking of companies, and let it be education company or any industries or any FMCG, it is really difficult for them to position unless they give a satisfaction, or unless they give a great experience. It is all about giving, and that is when that then later we can think about getting it and receiving it. That is the only thing that I have in my mind.
Oh, thank you very much, Sagarikka.
Sagarikka, it's really, really generous of you to come down here and have a conversation with us. It was really a short notice, and you came down here, and we are really happy for it. And also the things you have shared. Okay, so we have to take responsibility about our life, and when we take responsibility about our life, and life will take responsibility about us. That is the kind of thing. And also when you talk about positioning, you said about sharing this love, inborn love, deep love. So what we understand is like love what you do and share the same love to the world. So and also Surya sir and Manoj sir and Budhi ma'am and every other team member are really generous enough to come down here, have this conversation, and also they shared their experience, because these people are really, they have an experience that is, right? So that kind of experience. So they are generous enough to share their love and experience with you, and I'm really happy to connect both these ends at this single point. And I hope your journey and our journey goes along in a great way, and the roads will meet again, and we'll keep you posted.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Suthersun, for giving me this opportunity. I had a great time over here. It was like meeting my extended family members and just sharing my thoughts with them. It was just amazing. Thank you for calling me.